You ever been counted out? Ever had to fight for a future they said you'll never have? Then you're in the right place. This is Break Free, where resilience meets redemption, where real stories tear down fake ceilings and freedom takes root. Your pain has a purpose. Your scars have a sound. And your breakthrough is louder than your breakdown. You can't expect change when you're stuck. Stuck in the same patterns, same mindset, same habits, same circles. It's time to break free. Hey, God's favorites. How y'all doing today? I'm so happy to be back with y'all. Did y'all miss me? Because I missed y'all. Today, I have another very special guest. Y'all help me welcome Miss Tonia Williams of Uncheckable.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Don't be trying to act all like laid back and just
okay. Appreciate you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm happy that you agreed to come on and everything. And I do apologize that what has been a year?
About a year. You forgot about me a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay.
I apologize. I really apologize. We had some hiccups where we took some time off and then getting back and then just missing the email. But Sakia, she reached out about you, and I want to say somebody else.
Jamie the Motivator.
Jamie the Motivator. Yep. Jamie the Motivator.
I missed your guys' email, and I felt so bad. I was like, how can I miss this opportunity that I've been waiting on? So I was like, man, Sakia, help me out.
Yeah.
Jamie, help me out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you see now how it came full circle. We here now. Mm-hmm. So growing up, tell me, how did hustle and sports play a person in who you are today? How did it help shape who Tonia is today?
Okay, well, I'm a basketball player. That's my sport. And it helped me it shaped me. I'm a lot more disciplined. Mentally, physically, I get things done. It just helped me have the motivation to, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, because basketball is a tough sport. You have to stay disciplined. You have to stay motivated. So it just made me just a hard-working person as well.
Was you a good basketball player or just all right?
I was fine now. Had a scholarship.
You did?
Yeah.
Where did you have a scholarship to?
I played my first year at South Carolina with Dawn Staley.
Oh, you played with Dawn Staley?
I had the pleasure of playing with her for a year, and I transferred to West Virginia University after my freshman year.
You didn't want to play with Dawn?
I did, but I wasn't all the way mature for her level, and I see why. We had to go our separate ways, but it was no bad blood. She helped me find somewhere to go, and it was no bad blood.
It was just, what, you had a bad attitude, or just felt like you didn't want nobody telling you what to do?
It was a bad attitude, and then I was a little lazy. I didn't understand how much collegiate sports is a lot harder than just high school. I mean, you got class, you got study hall, you got practice 2 times a day, sometimes 3 hours, you got weightlifting. So the schedule was a little tough at first, and I was just like, hey, I don't know if I can do this.
Because you wanted to what, be in other things?
Something like that, you know what I mean? Something like that. But yeah, after the first year, it was cool, and when I transferred, I got a little bit better with my maturity. But there were still some hiccups at West Virginia, but we'll get into that too.
Okay, and then what about, what position did you play?
I was a forward guard, 3-4.
And what was your stats? What?
My stats in South Carolina, I played in about 15 games. My stats, 20 out of 34 shots, I made 20.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to go back and look, but when I got in, I did my thing.
You didn't want to? Did you want to go to the next level?
I did. I wanted to play pros, but I don't think I was ready, mature, and I made some decisions that kind of hindered me from playing in the WNBA. But I know I could have went. People that know me, they know my skills. They know I could have went too. I had a deal to actually go to Ukraine, but I didn't take it because I'm like, Ukraine, I don't want to go over there. And you know what I mean? It's cold. But I should have took it because I would have got my foot in the door to I could have been to France or something like that. But
and it probably would have opened up other opportunities for you.
Other opportunities, but my mind, I was so close-minded, and I wasn't looking at what the future could bring if I can just be uncomfortable for a little bit. So, but yeah, you live and you learn.
And we don't like being uncomfortable, right?
Nah, man. Yeah. But now I love being uncomfortable. But at first, and I feel like that's what a lot of people struggle with. We don't want to be uncomfortable, and sometimes that makes us, lead to bad decisions. Because we want something quick, something that's going to make us feel comfortable.
And so basketball went on to, did you graduate college or?
Yeah, I did. I graduated, but my last year, it wasn't under basketball scholarship. That's a long story, but it's all in my book. It's a pretty crazy story. Like, if you was to read it, you would be like, dang, this girl could not get it together. But I graduated, but it wasn't under a basketball scholarship. But congrats to me for still, getting
That's
that
right.
degree.
Yeah, still getting the degree. Did you put it to use or you didn't put it to use?
I put it to use, but it ain't useful no more. Look. It ain't useful no more, but I did put it to use.
You did?
Yeah.
That's great. And then looking back, during that time, how old were you? What, in your early 20s, like when you were playing? Yeah.
Oh, I've been playing since I was like 10, but when I went to college, I was 18. So
see, 18, we really haven't really grasped like what life is really truly about.
Right.
So, that's where like decisions sometime and should have went right but went left. That's right. Where that come in at. Do you regret not being fully present with basketball?
I do. And I know they say that we shouldn't have regrets, but I do. I feel like regrets should be something that everybody has because it helps you like really learn. It helps you be introspective on what happened in that situation. So I do have some regrets, but I'm okay with it now.
Because you got to learn to live with regrets.
Yeah, you got to
learn to live.
You got to learn to live with them, but it's okay to have them. Some people get stuck in, I don't have no regrets. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just don't want to voice them.
You just don't want to voice it. And it's okay to have regrets and then be cool with it.
Yeah.
Be okay with it now.
And who would you say back then was like your circle of community that would push Tonia, like, no, keep going, keep going?
Definitely my family, my friends, my family and friends just kept telling me like, just do right. Especially my dad. My dad, he was on me. He was like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to end up in a good place. And I really wish I would have listened to him because he told me a bunch of times, like, just slow down. Like, just all you have to do is just chill. Just, you know what I mean? And, but
it was something else in you that wanted to what?
I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I was so used to getting things my way. Mm-hmm.
Are you spoiled? You the only child?
No, I got a brother.
Oh, okay.
But I ain't gonna lie, I was so good at basketball. I kind of got what I wanted. I played varsity basketball in 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah. So I was kind of.
Oh, so you was like that?
I was like that. Yeah, I was like that.
Oh, you might need to send us a highlight or two if you could find it, so we can add it into the episode.
I'm gonna send you some. I got
okay.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really, athletes do get spoiled because they give you everything.
We get spoiled. Yeah, men, women, we get spoiled a little bit.
Yeah.
We get like this. I got a grandiose type attitude. I got that from RDAP. You know what I'm saying? But where I just felt like everything should be revolved around me. So yeah, kind of messed me up. But
just walking in arrogance, you feel like?
Yeah, walking in arrogance, but I wasn't like a loud arrogant. But I was still a little arrogant, though. I just kind of felt like everything should come to me, and I felt like I shouldn't have to work as hard, even though I was still a hard worker. I don't know.
And what would you say was the worst decision you've ever made in your life?
The decision that led me to federal prison. That was my worst decision. And smoking, because that's what ultimately got me. Lost my scholarship at West Virginia. I kept smoking weed. I didn't want to stop. I kept trying to find ways around the drug test. So I popped hot, and then I'm like, man, I'm going to just keep smoking, and I'm going to drink this Q Carbo 32, whatever them drinks out there. Mm-hmm. And I should have just stopped. I kept trying to beat the system. So I really regret, continuing to smoke weed, trying to beat the system, and not just being patient. Like, I could have waited to smoke weed. So.
Oh yeah, they didn't allow in college.
No,
and did they randomly test y'all?
Yeah, it was random. Mm-hmm.
So you was never prepared.
Wasn't prepared. Like, it's crazy. Like, I was prepared because I would always carry stuff on me. Mm-hmm. But the day I took the test, I dropped it like in the toilet. I don't know if I was nervous. I dropped it in the toilet, and the girl came around like, "What was that noise?" She was like, "Put your hands up." So I was like this, and then she went in the toilet and saw us. I was just like, damn.
So they automatically gave you a dirty.
Oh yeah, that was automatic. She was like, you can go ahead and pee, or you can just say you're dirty. And I was like, well, I'm dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even want to give y'all nothing.
Do you still smoke now?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I have a great job, and just being away and looking at everything that I lost because of marijuana, it helps me not do it today.
What would you tell kids like right now who just feel like they cannot go without smoking weed?
You can wait. I'm telling you, you can wait to smoke weed, because when you smoke weed, it's a temporary feeling and you're going to keep chasing it more and more and more. And you don't even know what they're putting in the weed nowadays. Okay? Do what you have to do. Get to where you want to be first. Smoke all the weed you want. When you be a boss, you can do whatever you want. But in today's world, we have to, have guidelines or rules when we're working in a corporate job or just anything.
Or living at home with your parents.
Or living at home with your parents. You got to respect your parents. Even if you're 25, living with your parents. I remember I came home from school and from college, and my folks was like, yeah, you still got a curfew. I'm grown. They was like, yeah, but you living at my house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we just have to learn to respect people's boundaries, and that'll help us go far.
And I don't think parents are like that anymore.
Nah,
you know?
man,
Yeah, my sons, they know not to play with me.
Right.
If you over here at this address, this was going on over here. Ain't no eating upstairs. Ain't none of that. You ain't finna have a bunch of hoochie mamas going in and out this door. You know, but I think that old school parenting, I really think like people need to get back to that old school parenting because the kids are not only being disrespectful, but it's showing up in school too.
Showing up in school. They're being friends with the kids right now. Like, my parents was not my friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
right.
If I have a kid, I'm gonna have a hard time raising, because it's just like, it's like a new norm for just kids to just, do what they're doing, talk to their parents kind of crazy or this and that. And I'm like, man, my child gonna tell other people that I'm abusing them, or you know what I mean? Or like, I'm just so strict when really I'm raising you how I was raised.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. And I feel like too, I can't say like our parents did a better job than like we are doing. Well, you don't have any kids yet, but the generation after them, then that they did or whatever. But tell us, how did you end up in prison? I mean, how do you go from this basketball player that everybody's oohing and ahhing over, and then being like the chosen one, because basically that's what it was, playing at North Carolina, to next thing you know, you have an 8-digit number. Yeah.
It's South Carolina, but it's,
Oh, okay. Okay. What I said, North Carolina? Okay.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So I spent my time playing basketball, graduated college. I came home. I wanted to go overseas. I didn't take the deal to Ukraine because I felt like they weren't offering me enough money. And then I've heard that with females going overseas, sometimes they won't pay them on time. Sometimes the contract isn't really the contract. So my degree was in criminology. Okay, I really wanted to make a difference, whether joining GBI and making a difference in the police force, because it's really unfair for us right now. So I tried to go to GBI, and they was like, you need some experience. And I'm like, well, I got my degree. Then y'all think that why I went to school? It was like, you need some experience. So I applied to be a correctional officer, and they're always hiring. So I took that job instead of going to Ukraine, and I was asking my friends about it, like, what should I do? What should I do? And I took the correctional officer. That's another regret that I have. But yeah, so I became a correctional officer. I was a correctional officer, like, in the field for about a month. And when I say in the field, like, actually, like, in the not Sallyport, but just in one facility. Okay. And what facility were you at? I was at a female prison in Hawkinsville, Pulaski. Oh, okay. I was at Pulaski State Prison, yeah. So I was there for about a month, and then I got promoted to TAC Squad, and it was called Cobra. Basically, we went around and shakedowns, we handled riot situations in all of the male prisons in Georgia. So it's a pretty unique job, pretty dangerous. But I did enjoy especially it. Nowadays, because these Georgia prisons are not playing. And they don't play. They do not. They run the prisoners run the prison. Oh yeah, they run that prison. My very first time doing a shakedown, I mean, they was beating on the doors like, y'all want these phones? Come on in here, like, and they big dudes. There was only 2 girls on the squad. I'm pretty solid, and I was pretty bigger, a lot bigger back then. Yeah, and you're athletic. Yeah, and I'm athletic. So, but I was just like, we going in there, like, you know what I'm saying? But no, it was a pretty good job. But it was low paying for the danger that I, put myself in. So about a year into being on TAC Squad, the FBI wanted to do an investigation because there was a lot of contraband coming into the prisons, phones, and there was a scam that happened where some inmates They got about $40,000 from elderly people. They were calling them saying, hey, your son's in jail. You got to send me $1,000 to get him out and stuff like that. And then also one of the judge's daughters had got kidnapped. And and it was orchestrated from behind walls through a cell phone. So that's when the FBI came in like, how is everything getting in here? So instead of having officers bring something inside the prison, they was like, let us change the scope of the investigation. So they hired a confidential informant and they made him pose as a drug dealer. I'm thinking he's like with the cartel or something like that. So he asked one officer like, hey, would you deliver some drugs for me from point A to point B? Basically driving outside of the prison. So we didn't bring anything inside the prison. She was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then he was like, well, if you bring me more officers, they have to be correctional officers only, then I'll bring you more money. So it was a domino effect after that. She asked her friend, then he told her friend the same thing, hey, bring me more. I'll give you more money. So then he started his own team. And then it got down to me. My homeboy asked me, and I was like, I don't have to bring drugs inside the prison. And he was like, no. I was like, man, that sounds easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, how much you getting paid? He was like, your first run is going to be $3,000. I was like, $3,000? I was like, okay. And he was like, after every run after that, it'll be about $5 or however much you ask from him. So I was like, okay. At first, I was like, I don't know. Then I was just like, man, I risk my life every day
inside this penitentiary,
and I'm getting paid $25,000 a year. So
that's all they were paying.
That's all they were paying, man. $25,000 a year.
Y'all need to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
$25,000, you can make that at McDonald's.
Man.
On a night shift.
And I could get stabbed. I'm talking about, I almost did a couple of times, So I just weighed out my options. Like, man, driving an hour and a half. That's a lot safer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I did it. The first time I did it, we met up with the guy who I thought was the cartel, but he's a CI. And I hopped in the car with him, and the car is bugged because everything was a setup. Video cameras, microphones, and we're talking. And he's like, so the red brick is cocaine. The black brick is meth. And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, hold on, like, why are you telling me all this? I kind of didn't want to know because I wanted to, less I knew, the better for me.
Right.
He was like, well, you're going to be by yourself sometimes, so I need you to be able to separate it. But the whole time I'm on camera, so now I'm acknowledging what this is.
Right.
So I can't use the entrapment defense because now I know this is cocaine. Now I know that this is meth. So we're just making casual conversation, and we get to the spot, right? So my other friend was following us the whole time, and he had the bag of, dope, whatever. So we get to the spot, and before I got out the car, he showed me what car to drop it off in. Before I got out, he was like, "No, I'm not making you do this. You don't have to do this at all if you don't want to." I kind of looked back, and I was like, "Man, what kind of cartel dude is this?" Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Trying to tell me like, I don't have to do this, like giving me reassurance. So I was just like, "Yeah, I'm cool." So I dropped it off, and that was that. And so about a week later, he was like, "Do you have anybody else?" And I was like, "Yeah." I had like 2-3 people. So I brought in my other friend, and then I brought in my other homegirl. So I did the thing. I did the thing for about 4 times. I made about 18 to 20,000 in 3 months, and I quit. And I joined the military. But
you quit the jail.
I quit the jail. Yeah, I quit the jail, and I joined the military. And the sting operation lasted about 2 years. So I'm in the military for a year, thinking, I got away with it, like it was a smooth little operation. My dad calls me at like 5 a.m. He was like, he called me the B word, like because he was so upset. He was like, "You got the FBI at my house. What is you doing?" And I just hung up on him. Like I was so scared. I hung up on him, and I was just like, I already knew what it was for because I wasn't really no, trouble kid. I smoked weed and just did random stuff, but nothing like that. Mm-hmm. So I called the guy that put me on, and I'm like, "Hey, I think they finna come get us." And he starts breathing all hard, and that was that. And I was in D.C. at the time, and so they had to send D.C. agents to come arrest me on the base. They were nice about it though.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, they was like, "We ain't gonna put handcuffs on you leaving the base," but they put them on me when I got in the car, and they just took me to the D.C. jail.
What was your thoughts in that moment?
I couldn't even cry. Like, I think I was so shocked that, like, I was waiting to wake up. Like, I was like, all right, pinching myself and stuff. Like, when is this gonna when is this gonna be over? And when I got to the jail, the girls in the jail were like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't look like you should be in here. And I was just like, man, I don't know. I didn't cry at all. It took about 2 days for me to get me out. Mm-hmm. And I didn't eat for 2 days. Like, DC jail, like, that was the worst. Like,
any county jail is the worst.
Jail, yeah. But I'm talking about roaches everywhere. So
yeah, it's really inhumane. And I think a lot of people don't understand really about how jails are.
Yeah.
All taxpayers, y'all paying all that money for nothing.
For nothing, really. For nothing.
Mold. I could go on and on, but I'm not even gonna go there. What was going through your head as you drove, like as you went from the DC jail going to the next place? Did they give you a bond? Were you able to get out on bond?
That personal reconnaissance bond where I can sign my name. And
they didn't give that to me.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you had it to get out though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, personal reconnaissance bond. If I didn't show up, it was like 10 to 20,000. But what was going through my head, I was like, my life is over. Like, I know my mom, my dad mad, and I'm just like, how can I go from being a basketball star, the chosen one, to now this? How can I go from I used to be a correctional officer and now I'm finna be an inmate? But
a prisoner.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, prisoner. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know how I said that. But yeah, now I'm about to be a prisoner. And so it was kind of shockful. I didn't cry until I got home. Yeah, that's when I just let everything loose.
And how long was it from the time that they picked you up to the time that you got sentenced? How long were you out on bond?
A year and some change.
So during that whole year, you having to fight within your mind, like, am I gonna go? What were they telling you were facing?
So when I talked to my lawyer, we hired a lawyer named David Wolf. He was like, well, we might be all right, but he didn't know, like, what the drugs were or anything. Mm-hmm. So when he came back, he was like, well, it doesn't look too good, but the FBI, their role was kind of messed up, even though I've taken accountability for my role, but he was just like, what the FBI did, I'm pretty sure the judge is going to look at it and take it into consideration. So he was just like, I don't think you're going to do 15 to 20 years. He was like, you're going to do some
wanted
time.
15 to 20 years because it would have been, what was that? If you went 4 times, that's what, 4 kilos, 8 kilos altogether?
So they charged me with 8 kilos of, what's meth? I think meth is worse
higher
than cocaine.
on a level.
Yeah, so they charged me with 8 kilograms of meth and 1 kilogram of cocaine. When everything was fake, the drugs was fake. I mean, it was bubble wrap. Like, you know what I mean? And I think they just picked a number and they made it to where 8 kilograms of cocaine, meth, y'all are trying to make it to where we getting time.
No, but if you think about it, you told me you took 4 trips. And the first day that he told you this is coke, this is meth, 4 times 2 is 8. So that's where the 8 came from. Yeah, that's why I said 8 to begin with.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, so on paper, we were looking at our points were like 30, like a 36. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's where I was. I was a level 36.
36, yeah. So, that comes with time.
At level 36 back then, you went in, this happened in
2017, 16.
Okay, so the guidelines had changed, but a level 36 back when I got sentenced, it was automatically 324 months to life.
Oh, wow.
That was automatically, yeah.
No matter if you, like, first offender.
They ain't care nothing about that. And then, so when you came in 17, they had changed. Obama had been in administration, and it was a drugs -2. Yeah. So it might have been a lower, but it still was like 15 to 20 years.
Because did you get the -2 points where they
I got it in 17.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I got it in 17.
Good.
So it took me down to 262 months. Mm-hmm. From because I was sentenced at 324, so it took me to 262. I
remember that was a big thing.
It was huge. It was huge, and it took 8.5 years off my sentence.
That's good.
Yeah, great. And I had been in at the time. I had already been in 10 years. Yeah, it took me 10 years to get my first reduction.
Shit, you did all that time. Bro.
Yeah, well, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you have to. I was just saying this morning to one of the young ladies that have been on the podcast. We never get to say how it comes back, right? Some people call it karma. I call it a principle in the Bible. Mm-hmm. God's word says, "Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Right. That what you sow, you shall reap." Right. So I sowed those seeds. I don't get to say how I come back. And it came back in the form of a 30-year sentence, but God's grace still made it where I did not serve 30 years, that I'm able to sit here today. Yeah.
I know that's right. Yeah, I look at your success and I'm like, that's what's up. Like, I'm glad that we can be like a motivational for people who are in and people are coming out, you know, like you guys can really be successful still.
Yeah, but they have to know it has to start while you're on the inside.
Exactly.
And you cannot look for, a lot of times people look for a handout when they come home. You can't look for a handout. No one's coming to save you but you.
But yourself.
Yeah, and then also you can't be so, like I thank God that you're not, because I'm not going to lie, when I first read the email, I was like, no, I don't think she gonna be a good fit, because I interpreted it as you wasn't taking accountability. What they did was wrong. It definitely was wrong, right? But I also, like I used to say that if people hadn't told on me, I wouldn't have went to prison. Because, you know, they never caught the drugs physically.
Yeah.
None of the kilos. They never had them, right?
You a true ghost dope.
Yeah, it was ghost dope. All of it was ghost dope. They had 11 kilos in the courtrum, but it was from a stop of a car from one of the drivers. I wasn't even in the country. You get what I'm saying? But when I came to grips and accept responsibility and accountability within myself, I said, no, Shay, if you hadn't have been doing anything illegal, nobody wouldn't have been able to tell on you. Right. So, you know, I am thankful that you did come to terms with, you know, what happened, and that you're not bitter behind it, because it would stifle you.
Right. Not no more. When I was in, I was getting, I had a 2-point enhancement before recruitment, right? And we felt like that was unjust, so we were appealing it and stuff like that. So when we had the court hearing, it was video, and I was just talking to the judge, like, you know, how I've been making my time productive. And I was just like, listen, I wrote a book called From Blue to Brown. I'm not blaming the FBI anymore. Like, I take accountability, because I could have said no. I mean, the guy
he gave you a chance.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, and that was them covering themselves.
That was them covering themselves.
But it's also too like God extending the olive branch. Like, hey, I'm trying to save you.
You know. So, but yeah.
And then so going that day at sentencing, what was that like for you?
The day I got sentenced.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking. It's funny. Like, I was like, maybe I should dress like a little girly. I said, let me put like a little girly women's suit on, like maybe he'll, you know. But I was very nervous, but I kind of had an idea of what I was going to get, because there was people, I was one of the last to get sentenced. So I kind of had an idea of what I was going to get. And when he read 60 months, I looked at my mom like waiting for her to fall out or something. But she was like, okay, cool, 5 years.
Yeah.
I was like, you just saying 5 years? Like, I was like, that's great. Like, you know, you get out, like, you know, you do good time, whatever. So when I saw...
And the drug program.
I got kicked out of that. But
I call it the snitch program.
Yeah,
but
you already know what our dad is. But when I saw that my mom and my dad didn't freak out, I was just like, okay, I can do this.
And they were supportive of you.
They were supportive. They had to grab my dad off the stand, because he was like, now I know what my baby did was wrong, but the FBI was wrong. No. My lawyer had to grab him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And tell him to get off. But I appreciate him for that. You know?
Sticking up. I mean, you know, a parent's love.
Yeah.
Well, there's no end to a parent's love. No extreme that a parent won't go for their child.
That's right.
And two, we know that, you shouldn't agree to do it. But it was also like, man, what y'all on? Why are y'all targeting Black and brown people? Well, all y'all were
Black. There was one white person, and it made me do the research. What they did is called a reverse sting operation, and they do it mostly to minorities. From the cases that I was reading, there was a case. He was a Native American. He was on the reservation, and you know the reservations is known for not having enough money. Not enough money, but you know just not having money like they should.
Right.
And so they went to these kids like, hey, I got some drugs. Basically the same thing. I got some drugs that y'all can sell. Y'all can do this. And they were setting them up. It was like bait car. If I don't know if you've seen the show Bait Car.
No, I never seen it.
Yeah, they would basically, long story short, put a car somewhere, and they would wait for people to steal it. But instead of doing that, why don't you put a youth center somewhere? Why don't you put something where kids can be productive instead of setting them up? You know what I mean? But again, reverse sting operations is more leans towards minorities from the research I've done. And that's what I don't really like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
60 of us, we had no prior records. I mean, there was one girl, her house had just burned down. So the judge only gave her like a year because he kind of understood why she was doing whatever. But yeah,
Did the judge go under the guidelines for y'all?
Oh yeah, he cut everybody's by 70%.
He did?
Yeah, the most time somebody got was 10 years because he did it a lot of times. Yeah.
But it was fake.
I think that's why he cut everybody's sentence by 70 years.
Okay.
I mean, he even said it. He was like, I don't really like how the FBI did it, but he was like, their actions doesn't shock my conscience. This is exactly what he says. Like, I'm used to the FBI doing things like this type thing. That's in my paperwork. I underlined it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he said that because that was powerful to me. But yeah, so.
What can you say was the hardest lesson you had to learn?
Taking accountability, because I was like, used to get my way. I could do nothing wrong. I was always trying to beat the system. And so like taking accountability was the hardest part. But once I did, I actually felt free. For real. I felt real free. I felt liberated. Like, because sometimes when you don't take accountability, you almost become a liar. Or in a way, because it's like you're not seeing what you're doing and you're almost lying about it. Like, I didn't do that. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? When you really did.
Oh, you could fool yourself,
You can fool yourself real quick. But I got that grasp being in prison, and I am thankful for going away.
I was about to ask you that led into my next question. How did you spend your time when you were away? Like, what would you do? How would you keep yourself motivated? How would you keep yourself going? Because it's a culture shock when you go to prison and you've never been.
Yeah, it was
especially you on the other side now.
Yeah. With me on the other side, I was actually worried about like if people found out, how were they gonna judge me? Because we're seeing how the males work. Males are a lot different,
right,
than the women. So I was a little nervous too because I didn't necessarily know how to move, being in prison, being that I was on the outside.
But you a cute girl.
Yeah, I was just about to say so. Look, I walked in, they was
you ain't had nothing to worry about. I already know.
You
already know.
Yeah.
The vultures came.
I'm talking about I had shower shoes, I had soap, I had everything.
Yeah.
And at first it was a little overwhelming. Like the first girl that tried to offer me something, I was like, nah.
Because they tell you don't. They tell you don't take nothing.
You try to take a little something.
Yeah.
But I found a girl, and she kind of schooled me on like how to move in there, and I found my way. And I actually went in there like a month before my birthday. And when they found out, we had a party.
Yeah,
I mean,
ain't nothing like a prison party, y'all. Ain't nothing like a prison party.
It's really fun, man.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. When I had the party, I was like, I could do this.
Yeah, because you know what? I will say that the most creative people are in prison.
Yes.
The way that people take nothing, absolutely nothing, and make it out of something. I'm talking about theme parties. No lie. Everyone, like, to this day, anybody that's close to me know that I love the water. I love the beach, right? Yeah. So I got shipped out to Minnesota. I hated it out there.
I'm about to say, Wasika.
Yeah, I hated it out there. But my birthday is New Year's, right? They took the TV room, my friend Monique Naves, and turned it into a luau. Oh. When I tell you I wish I had a camera, because they went into the volleyball court, got tubs of sand to put it all on the floor in there.
It look legit.
And the tables, they took the cardboard and like shaved it into tiki huts. Oh. Man, when I tell you, and did the suspended tent, like took a sheet and made a tent like in the corner. When I tell you, even the officers were amazed. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's so many creative, people. And then too, you find people that help you get through your time.
Man, they do. They really do. Like, I'll never forget, her name is Sarah. She really helped me. She helped me get through, teaching me things, just showing me how to move.
How to move in prison.
How to move, how to just do your time, how to meditate. So, yeah.
I meditated a lot in prison, and one of the guards used to always bother me because I would go up on the hill, like by the track, and he's like, I don't understand how you out here meditating and defend, because the barbed wire and everything. I'm like, you see barbed wire. I don't see barbed wire. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you wrote your book while you were in prison, right?
Yeah, I wrote it while I was in prison. And I actually procrastinated for a little while on it. I don't know if you wanted me to hold it up.
I'm gonna hold it up.
Okay, yeah. I procrastinated for a while on it. It was always just a thought, and COVID happened. Mm-hmm. So when COVID happened, I mean, they locked everybody down. It was like basically we on solitary confinement, basically. And I'm by myself, and I'm pretty hyper, so I'm pacing back and forth. I'm like, man, what can I do? So I'm like, I might as well start writing my book.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm talking about I started going. I wrote about 80% of it in about a month, just being, and I was at Aliceville. I had got transferred to Aliceville at the time.
The new prison.
Yeah. Was it Aliceville is new?
Aliceville was new. Aliceville was a new prison.
Alabama, right?
Yep. Yep, because I remember like being in prison and saying, oh, they building a new prison. I want to go. I want to go, But then I had to tell myself, girl, what are you talking about? You want to go to a new prison? No, you want to go home, but it's easy sometimes too to get in there and to start living as they say, how
it works in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a different world. It really is. Real quick, when I was in there and I remember getting out and talking to a friend of mine and she was just like, being outside, it's a lot faster now. And she was like, I was at a lot more peace inside, because we didn't have to worry about bills,
right.
Even though our freedom was taken away. We didn't have to worry about.
Some people look at it that way, but guess what? I don't care how busy you get out here.
Yeah.
I rather be free.
That's right. Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. But some people do, and that's why recidivism, and people can't understand why would you choose to go back to prison. But for some people, it's easier to live in there than it is out here. So the book is called From Blue to Brown. And blue, I assume, is because you was in a blue uniform, and then you went to the brown uniform, right?
Yeah, it's catchy, huh?
From blue to brown, it's catchy. Where could they find the book at?
On Amazon. Yep, just type in From Blue to Brown, and you can find it on Amazon.
And so, while you were in there, did you come up with the idea for uncheckable athletics?
Yeah, that's the reason why I came up with the brand, because I was at a point in time in there when I was just like, I'm gonna check out. This is it for me. And, God talked to me and he was like, nah.
Check out as in?
Not kill myself. But
okay. I'm like, check out.
I mean, but just check out, like give up on life. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he was just like, nah, you uncheckable, T. Don't let this stop you. Don't let this, anyone or anything, you are an unstoppable force. And so that's Uncheckable was born. Yeah.
And so that's the meaning behind uncheckable.
That's the meaning behind uncheckable. Yeah. And then another thing, my friend got to arguing with somebody. They were arguing while we were away, and she was like, I can't believe she tried to check me. I'm uncheckable.
Yeah.
And I was like, what'd you just say? She was like, I'm uncheckable. And I tied that into my definition. Yeah. And I was just like, it's perfect.
Yeah. And so you had a relationship with God already before you went to prison.
I did, for sure. I never read the whole Bible front to back until I went to prison. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I did, because I have a real better understanding of the Bible, my religion, my God, who I believe is within me. So it made me a better person.
That's good. And when people rock Uncheckable, right, the brand, like what energy do you want them to feel when they rock in the brand?
Confidence. I want you to walk around and know that nothing can stop you, nobody's opinion, because that stops us a lot of times, like just worrying about what people think about us. It can stop us from doing a lot. So I want you, when you wear my shirt, walk around with confidence. Like, can't nobody stop you. The world can't stop you. And just do your thing. Live and reach your goals,
And what keeps you going? On days and when you want to give up, what keeps Tonia going?
I want to help others. And so that's what keeps me going, because if I shut out and don't use my voice, that's one less person that I can help. Mm-hmm. So that's what motivates me every day. I want to make my family proud, and I just want to make a difference in this world, a real difference.
If it was game that you could give to somebody that wanted to get in the game, like write a book or create a line, like what would you tell them? What game would you give them?
So I came up with the CDC, consistency, discipline, and control.
Okay. CDC.
Yeah, CDC.
Say it again. Consistency,
discipline, and control.
Okay. Break it down.
Yeah, we have to master all three of those things. Consistent. Mm-hmm. We have to be consistent in everything we do. We can't want to lose weight and then work out for a week and then quit.
Right.
We can't want to open up a business and then try to ask for funding and then get told no and then quit. We have to be consistent in everything that we do and trust the process. With discipline, you got to be disciplined in what you do, because if you don't have discipline, you'll fall for anything. You'll listen to what anybody has to say, and it'll kind of make you crash if you don't have enough discipline mentally and physically. I like to use the gym as my discipline. Like if I can wake up in the morning and not want to go to the gym, but I still go anyway, that means I can do a lot if I don't, feel like doing something. Control. We have to have control over our emotions and over our decision making.
Oh, it's so hard.
Yeah, if we don't have control over our emotions, it'll lead us into making bad decisions that'll make us end up where we don't want to be. And I'm looking at life as like a tree of life. Mm-hmm. So we want to get to the top, right? But sometimes we might pick a branch, and that branch might be a bad decision. Sometimes we might pick a branch and we might fall. You know what I mean? But you can get right back up and pick a different branch. That's your decision making. You know what I mean? So once you just start making the right decisions in life, you can climb that tree and really, go far. Because I believe we're all chosen. I don't believe that people are born and like, oh, that person was only born for, to be great. No, we all have that in us. We're all chosen. It just depends on how we move, how we make our decisions. So
when I tell you, I love that analogy you just gave about the tree. Like, that's super, super dope.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell me, what would you, if you wasn't doing what you're doing now, what do you think you would be doing?
Like if I wasn't doing like working for the railroad and stuff like that.
The railroad, the book. We haven't even talked about the rugs. Yeah, we got to get into the rugs. We got to get into the rugs. Yeah. Like, what do you think you would be doing?
If I wasn't doing, I would still probably be trying to make something work in basketball, whether training kids or just making their game better. I probably would be trying to do something with basketball still if I wasn't doing any of this stuff.
Right. So tell us about the rugs.
Yeah. So it's called Tough Rugging, and I took a friend because I live in Atlanta right now. So I took a friend to a class where they teach you how to make rugs and you make it yourself. It's like an experience type thing.
Okay.
And I was like, this is cool. And I'm from Warner Robins. And so I was like, we need to make this like a little mini Atlanta. And so I opened it down where I'm from. And I actually, Killer Mike, he was influential because I remember seeing an interview and he was like, everybody wants to come to Atlanta, a city that's already flourishing, and open up businesses. Why don't you go to the Macons, the Warner Robins, the Perrys? He said our city's just like that. So I was like, yeah, like we need to start making Macons, Warner Robins like Atlanta.
And how the business doing?
It's doing good. We opened up September 5th, and a lot of people are excited. Like, yeah, we ain't got to go to Atlanta no more.
Yeah, and so it's like an experience. They come in and
they come in.
Oh, that's a cute date night too.
Yeah.
So we've
been having a lot of date nights, birthdays. We've been pretty successful so far.
When it's all said and done, how do you want folks to remember Miss Tonia Williams in Uncheckable?
I want people to remember me as a resilient type person, somebody who's always going to get something done, somebody who is going to work through, adversity. And just somebody that's always driven to do some entrepreneur. That's how I want to be remembered. And I want to be remembered as being a sweet person because I'll really give you the shirt off my back. I'm very humble, and I just want to make a difference. So I want people to know me for that.
That's what's up. And I got to bring my shirts out too. Yeah, I got to bring my shirt and my socks. My socks out. But before I show them this merch, tell me, what's one dream that you haven't told anybody about that's deep in your heart and you want to see happen?
A dream?
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough.
A goal, an idea, a milestone you want to reach that you just haven't reached yet?
I want to be in the position to give like a scholarship out or like, just something to where I can help somebody else start their business because I got told no. Like when I'm looking for funding to try to start something, I was told no a lot. And I just want to be that yes for somebody. So I just want to be in a position to where I can give a scholarship out or just a grant. I mean, just anything to help somebody.
That's what's up. You said I was told no. I want to be the yes for somebody else.
I want to be the yes for somebody else.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So look, y'all, the brand is called Uncheckable, and she already told y'all what the Uncheckable is. But tell them again what Uncheckable is about.
Uncheckable means that you are a force that cannot be stopped by anyone or anything. You are a unstoppable force.
And where could they find it? Where could they get the merch from?
It's uncheckableathletics.com. I've slowed down on my merch just because I want to get into more like motivational speaking in my book, but it's still available on uncheckableathletics.com.
Yeah, because when you book those booking engagements, you could take the merch with you to have on the table for them to sell. You see how E.T. does it? Eric Thomas, you know who Eric Thomas is? Oh, you gotta look him up.
I feel bad for not knowing. Should I know?
Yeah. You should. If you want to be a motivational speaker, not if you want to be being a motivational speaker. Right. Dr. Eric Thomas is definitely somebody that you should know. So like while most people in prison with cell phones be on social media, looking up dumb stuff, you know what I used to do? Watch Eric Thomas. And I used to be like, "Ooh, E, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
I'm gonna look him up when we leave here.
Yeah,
now,
super
man.
dope. Super dope.
Because you are definitely like motivational, like looking to see like where you at and like your attitude. Like I would love to just know how like you were like, you know, just doing not in prison, but like how you were making yourself better. Like you said, you was watching Eric Thomas. Like
I was watching it, even though it was on a phone that I wasn't supposed to have.
Okay.
But I was watching Eric Thomas, and another thing that I did while I was in prison, it came to a point where I just separated myself from everybody. And then that came with, they always thought I was better than everybody else, but you have to be okay. I always tell kids when I go to the school, right? You have to be okay with being the only one. Yeah. And sometimes the only one is lonely, but you have to be okay with it. And I was okay with being the only one because I used to tell them, I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a podcast wasn't even a thing. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people thought I was crazy. But look at me now.
Look, right.
Who's the crazy one? Y'all, she has the socks. I got to rock some socks. Got me some socks. Uncheckable. Y'all make sure y'all support her, man. Anytime that someone can go through insurmountable challenges that she went through and come out on the other side, not only taking accountability, but still going, still pushing, still forward. We got to support them. So, y'all, if you don't do nothing but buy a pair of socks, if you get the book, just do something to make sure you support her and her Uncheckable brand. Tell me, what is the soundtrack? If you had a soundtrack for your life for Uncheckable right now, what would be the anthem?
The anthem would be Handheld GPS by a rapper named Rex Life Raj. I really love him. He's very motivational in his music.
What is it?
It's called Handheld GPS by Rex Life Raj.
Handheld GPS by
Rex Life Raj.
And is it a lot of cussing in it?
Nah, it's not a lot of cussing.
Not a lot of cussing in it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a new artist?
He's been around for some years, but he's motivational. He's not like your typical rapper, you know what I mean? With the big 808. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which I like. I still like that rap, but when I want to get into my like bag and like be on my motivational stuff, I go to him.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to have Westside look him up. Yeah, and maybe we play a little bit at the end of the episode or something. I'm going to have him look him up because I ain't up on it. Now, I cannot let you go. I can't let you leave without asking you the signature question for Break Free. Tell me something that Tonia needs to break free from.
I need to break free from really not caring about what people think of me. I'm still struggling with that. I've gotten a better grasp on it, but that's what I need to break free from.
We're going to be praying for that.
Yeah, not caring about what others think, because once you have that, you don't care about what others think. Like you said, you separated yourself from everybody. You didn't care what they thought of you, and you felt free and helped you, strive. It helped you have like a better mindset of what you need to do. So that's what I need to break free from.
That's dope. Yeah. People worrying about what people say. And then too, especially after you done time, a lot of people are embarrassed, right? But baby, I tell my story on the mountaintop. Okay, y'all ain't got no heaven or hell to put me in.
Right.
Okay, and I know that someone has been able to break free today just from hearing what you've been through. Star athlete, had it all, lost it all, but now back again. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
I really appreciate you taking out this time with me.
I appreciate you having me, man. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah.
So and you got to go. I'm going to be looking forward to you getting into your motivational speaking bag because you already put it in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm working on that now just because of you, too. Like, you know what I mean? I need to, and Bashir, he was telling me that I need to have like make a profile.
A one sheet.
Yeah, for my motivational speaking. And coming on here and speaking it really, because I'm thinking that I was going to be kind of like nervous or like bad, but I feel like I did well. So I'm like, now I feel like I can do it.
Yeah,
you know.
You got to put yourself out there. And shout out to Bashir too. Tonia shared with me like how you spoke really well of me and all the great things you said. So shout out to you, Bashir. Shout out to Sakia. Because you told me a long time ago to get on here. That's my sis. Shout out to Jamie the motivator. Like, you know, we all got to, yep. So, again, I thank you for coming, man.
Right, thank you so much.
And prayerfully some funding come through and we'll be able to do some speaking stuff in the school, you know, to help the kids or whatever because we got to save this generation.
I can shout out my Instagram real quick.
Oh, wait. I'm not going to let you leave without telling the people where to find you, where to find the merch, what's coming next. Go ahead. It's on you. Give them your spiel.
Okay. For the Rug Studio, it's WannaTuft_Studios. That's our IG. You can follow WannaTuft Studios on Facebook as well. My personal, which is my business too, Uncheckable Athletics, LLC. You can find my book on Amazon. I really, really want y'all to tap into my book and really get an understanding of who I am and what I've been through.
That's all you want to tell them? You don't got nothing else you want to tell them? Is something coming up?
Ain't nothing coming up, but you can come make a rug down in Macon, Georgia. We open Friday through Saturday. Come bring out your artistic ideas. We can bring it to life.
Guys, okay, we had a great time today with Tonia. Y'all remember, do all of the things. Follow her on social media. Go make a rug. Buy a book. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see y'all next week. And remember, it's always delusion until they see it happen. You see it happen, right? They thought she was crazy. You see it happen. I'll see y'all next week.